This is Counterpoint, and I'm your host, Tanya Granick-Allen. Tonight, we dive into the U.S. election results. Yes, the ballots have been counted, well, nearly all of them, and the winner has been declared. Donald J. Trump will be the 47th president of the United States of America. With 312 electoral college votes, Trump was declared the winner over Kamala Harris, who garnered merely 226. Republicans won the Senate. Looks like they will control the House. And of course, Trump will control the cabinet. From the influence of social media and shaping voter behavior to the critical battleground states that decided the outcome, we're going to explore the deeper trends at play. Was this a victory for democracy? Was voter fraud a factor? How did the vice president pick factor into the tickets? Who will play a significant role in the new Trump administration? And are we seeing a shift in American politics or just a new chapter in a deeply divided nation? And what do the results mean for us here in Canada and perhaps the rest of the world? Well, tonight we're going to unpack the results and ask the tough questions. And joining me now for a lively and thought-provoking discussion is Peter Roff, contributing editor for NewsWeek Magazine. Peter, great to have you back on again. So, a surprise maybe for some, not for many. Why don't you break down the results for us?
Well, I think it was a surprise for a lot of people who presumed that the guy that they blamed for January 6th, who they called a Nazi and a fascist, could never get elected president. And he not only carried the Electoral College by reassembling the map that he put together in 2016, he carried all 7 of the so-called swing states, but he actually this time won a majority of the national vote. So he is the Electoral College and the popular vote winner. This was not something that many people were forecasting. I saw that it was possible. People were thinking that we were still going to be counting ballots as we're talking now, and they are in the Senate race in Arizona and the Senate race in Pennsylvania. But other than that, and some House races in California and elsewhere on the West Coast, but it's all pretty much over and done. And as you said in your introduction, Trump will be the next president. The Republicans will have a healthy majority in the United States Senate. They will have a similar majority in the U.S. House of Representatives. They won governorships in Indiana and other key states. They took over 2, maybe 3 chambers in the state legislatures. There's an argument over whether the Minnesota House of Representatives. And remember, the Democrats' vice presidential nominee was the governor of Minnesota, but there's an argument over whether the Republicans are in charge or the chamber is tied, because there were a couple of Democratic House seats that flipped to Republican and then flipped back very late at night.
Wow.
But the Democrats didn't pick up anything of substance.
Wow.
They didn't take a GOP-held U.S. seat in the U.S. Senate. They didn't take away a governorship. They didn't take away a state legislative chamber. It was a very good night for the Republicans, which means it was a very good night for Donald Trump.
Wow. It was a shocker for many. I think that when we had you on just before the election, and you said that for the first time ever, the average of the polls indicated that Trump was going to win. I thought that was a turning point for me, at least in my thinking. Still thought we'd still be counting ballots, but with that great of a divide electorally, there was no way those votes could be made up. So we only have about 45 seconds to commercial. Walk us through what the downfall was for Kamala Harris. She was this new beacon of hope for the party, reincarnated after Joe Biden. What happened?
There are a lot of things at play. I think one, Harris tried to play into the 60+% of Americans who thought America was headed in the wrong direction. So she campaigned as the candidate of change. But when she was asked in one of the few interviews she did in a friendly setting what she'd do that was different from Joe Biden, she said she couldn't think of anything. I also think that the intensity of anger projected by liberal Americans and the mainstream media towards Trump motivated Trump voters and turned them out in huge numbers.
Okay, we're going to pause this. We'll be right back in a moment.